NBC News Radio, I'm Lisa Carton. President Trump is set to depart for the Middle East soon. The White House says the president will take part in a series of events in Israel and Egypt to mark the first phase of his peace plan for Gaza. Medical teams are standing by as Hamas is expected to hand over all of the surviving Israeli hostages to the Red Cross in exchange for nearly 2,000 Palestinians.
Shatard, will they pull down number 18? When you think about things like that, it's going to be an exciting tournament, Brendan. It really will be.
And before we bring you all the pairings and business to take care of as well, the commissioner of the IHSAA, Paul Neidig, is going to join us after a quick timeout as you are listening to the IHSAA Champions Radio Network, presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. This is your IHSAA.
High school sports are different, especially in Indiana, and these Hoosier student athletes couldn't agree more.
We all know the saying, in 49 states, it's just basketball, but this is Indiana.
Well, the same is true for all high school sports in Indiana, like volleyball,
and soccer,
and softball,
and track, and so many more.
We're passionate about high school sports in Indiana.
They're an undeniable part of our state's culture.
They're woven into the DNA of our communities.
It's what we dedicate our time to.
It's what brings us all together.
It's what we celebrate.
And as a high school student athlete, that's a pretty special environment to grow in.
Representing your school and having your entire community behind you.
Being a high school student athlete in Indiana is something we never take for granted.
And it's an experience we'll never forget either.
I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Neidig. Support Hoosier student athletes like these by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events. This is who we are. This is Indiana. This is your IHSAA.
I'm Deidre Hall with a message about your eye health. My mother had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD, which means my family members are at greater risk.
I'm Dr. Sada of Doheny UCLA. AMD is the most common cause of severe, irreversible vision loss in older adults. If a healthcare professional suspects AMD, a retina specialist can confirm the diagnosis and work with you on a treatment plan.
Routine eye care can help maintain your vision. Visit geteyesmart.org for more information.
Welcome back to the 2025 IHSAA Football Tournament Pairing Show presented by the Indianapolis Colts on the IHSAA Champions Radio Network. This is your IHSAA. Paul Condry's down there. I'm Brendan King. Paul Neidig in the middle, the commissioner of the IHSAA. Paul, thanks for taking some time. This is always a great time of year.
Oh, it's an incredible time of the year, and it's fun. You know, just a few short weeks ago, we started this season off, and here we are with 1 week in the regular season to go, and tournament draw show tonight, so we're going to get to that here in just a little bit. But there's a lot of excitement still that's out there, and anticipation for this great run that teams are going to have to the state championship. And we know we're going to have some surprises, and we know we're going to have some great football along the way.
I'm excited about the Colts again. I've been fortunate to be a part of that team for 26 years. But since 2009, they've been the presenting sponsor. And if you look off the landscape of the National Football League and the states, we're so fortunate to be able to play indoors and a chance to be a part of something. The commitment that the Colts have made over the course of the last few decades has been immeasurable.
Well, the Indianapolis Colts, it starts with phenomenal and ends with phenomenal organization. And there's all kinds of things in between. Nowhere else in the country do state associations enjoy the relationship that we have with the Indianapolis Colts. And we like to think it's a two-way street. We want to support everything that they do. And this year's an easy year to support. Certainly there's a lot of excitement.
Oh, exactly.
I listened to the game on my way up to the office today, and they pulled it out there at the end. And again, it's really great to be part of the Colts organization. And I know they feel the same about the association. And they love every aspect. They love the high school coaches and what they do, and they celebrate students at their facility. And so we're just blessed to be able to have that relationship.
One of the new things that's happening, girls flag football has become an emerging sport, and I know the Colts have been a big part of that. Can you speak to the dynamic of where we're going with girls flag football?
Well, first of all, I've been to several meetings recently, and it's by far the fastest growing opportunity for young ladies to participate in high school sports in the entire country. And Indiana's no different. The last I heard, we have in excess of 90 teams that are going to be playing next school year. And, you know, they're an emerging status, which is a 2-year process for us. And if they get to 100 teams, which I have all the confidence in the world that they will offer the first state championship. And I can't wait to get there the first time and be able to hand that trophy out to the young ladies. And again, they love the game of football, and we have some things coming up here soon. I believe next weekend at Grand Park.
Munster, New Prairie, Penn, Fort Wayne, Snyder, West Lafayette, Harrison, Warren Central, TH South. And we'll find out on Tuesday if it's going to be Lawrence North or North Central Indianapolis. I've been involved in some of the dialogue with the coaches and as well as the guys at the Colts, and it has been so much fun to see something start from scratch.
Yeah, it is, and it's and it's students that they're not quitting soccer to go play football.
Absolutely.
It's just another opportunity to be part of an education-based athletic program, and we love to see it when they're great students, and they get to participate with their school's name on their jersey.
Paul, going back to the football state tournament and any state tournament that the IHSAA puts on, you just talk about the collective effort of your team to get this thing rolling after what is a long regular season and then getting ready for what's going to be a fun 2 months until we get to Lucas Oil Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, Robert Falcons heads up our football initiative here at the office, but he has his assistant, Kaylee Howe, and there are other people in the office that are constantly working to prepare, get ready for the state championships. Jason Willie is always has got another staff.
He doesn't sleep.
He doesn't sleep and does a phenomenal job. He's Shanahan here in the studio, putting this show on. It's a constant effort, and it doesn't just happen. We didn't say 2 weeks ago that we have to get ready for a football state tournament. We have to get ready throughout the year, and we'll begin when the season's over for next year to see if we can put on a better product than we did this year.
Hey, what about the new initiative? And he just told me about this right before we came on the air about digitizing all of the old tapes and audio and video stuff that you guys are going to be putting up on the IHSAA YouTube channel. What an amazing resource for people, because once again, you have to restore and keep history in its perspective.
We're really excited about this project, and we've had boxes and boxes of tapes, all different formats, and 16 millimeter film and everything else stuffed in corners around here for a long time. And we've got all that organized now, and we've gone and had we're getting close to the end of the project where almost everything is digitized. And we're starting from the first time that we had video. And there's treasures in there like the 1954 Milan Gang in its original format, and many, many more. And we're going to get that out real quick, relatively soon, to where the public can have an opportunity to watch these games from days gone by.
Paul Neidig, the commissioner of the IHSAA. That's Paul Condrey. I'm Brendan King. Quick timeout, and then we've got some pairings to announce for the football state tournament coming up here soon. We are back with the 1A North and also Coach Lovell's conversation with Brett Lambert, the head coach at North Judson St. Pierre. With you next, you're listening to the IHSAA Champions Radio Network, presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. This is your IHSAA.
The roar of the crowd. The electric energy inside Lucas Oil Stadium. The touchdown celebrations. Touchdown! It's all waiting for you. This year, the Colts will go head-to-head with the Dolphins, Broncos, Texans, 49ers, and more. And you can be there for it. Don't miss your chance to be a part of a top-rated NFL game day experience. From pregame hype to last-second heroics, the energy is unmatched. Tickets are going fast, so lock in your seats now at Colts.com/tickets.
Your Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent is there to help guide you through each step of the insurance process.
Yeah, my agent's awesome. Jeff gives great advice, helps me figure things out. He's kind of like a dad to me.
Oh, that's great. Your agent
He's just got such a dad vibe, you know?
Sure. And your agent
I kind of want to get him a tie. I wish there was like an insurance agent's day or something, you know, because he's not really my dad.
Get to know an Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent, and you'll never have to go it alone. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Let's insurance together.
More than 100 million wild animals are killed each year illegally. Poaching is a major threat to our country's wildlife. I'm Tom Barry. I'm an actor with a desire to preserve living space for wildlife. The Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust does just that. Works with private landowners to protect wildlife, to preserve natural habitats. To learn more or to work with the Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust, call 800-729-SAVE. That's 800-729-SAVE, or visit wildlifelandtrust.org. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Lovell. Honored to be with the head coach at North Judson St. Pierre, Brett Lambert. Tell me about this group. I mean, they're battle-tested, obviously. Lots of experience from the tournament run, the championship run a year ago, and I have to think that's a big bonus for you right now.
Yeah, I mean, these guys have been through a lot of big games, and last year obviously was a special season, going 14-1 and then losing to a really good Providence team in the state championship. But we had a lot of guys to replace. We knew we had the talent to still have a really special club. But then we took another hit, to be honest, in our scrimmage game in August, CJ Sanchez. So here we are, a 1A school, losing a Division I guy. That doesn't usually bode well.
No.
Just credit to our players and our staff. We've found a way to move some guys around, and at this point, like you said, we're having a good year, and now looking towards the playoffs and trying to get back to Lucas Oil.
That's Bob Lovell's conversation with Brett Lambert, the head coach at North Judson St. Pierre. You can hear the full interview on the IHSAA YouTube page. All right, Paul Condry, you ready to go?
Let's rock and roll,
all right,
man.
1A North, it is time to get to our first set of pairings here on the Pairing Show as we welcome you back to the 2025 IHSAA Football Tournament Pairing Show presented by the Indianapolis Colts on the IHSAA Champions Radio Network. This is your IHSAA, and you take a look at the top. LaVille will take on Culver Community to get Sectional 41 started. North Judson St. Pierre, you just heard from Coach Lambert after their march to the state championship in Class A a year ago. They will first be greeted by South Central Union Mills. Game 3 features West Central taking on South Newton, and then in Game 4, North Newton will face off with Bowman Academy. Paul Condry, what do you think?
Sectional 41, take a look at it, just breaking it down. North Judson, a tremendous team. C.J. Sanchez, big kid up front who can do it all. Evan McGowan, the running back, has been outstanding. Grayson McDaniel, Elijah Allen, some guys I really like this group. West Central lost its first ball game of the season this past week when they lost a really talented Frontier team. They're going to be pretty good going into postseason play. Dre Villare, a running back, has been good. Connor Huber, the linebacker. Landon Hughes, an outstanding on the defensive side. But I think North Judson put them in a situation with all the experience they got coming back. They understand they've been there, done. They got T-shirts. They got rings. That's something that's a big advantage for the Blue Jays.
Class A in total features 60 schools. We're on to Sectional 42 in 1A North. First of all, Game 1, it's Frontier facing off with Tri-County. In Game 2, Pioneer will take on Caston. Game 3 in Sectional 42 as Carroll Flora facing off against Winnemac Community. And in Game 4, North White matches up with Taylor. Paul Condry.
I like this Frontier team. Jack Barron has done a great job. He's 16-1, Brendan, in his first 2 seasons. Done an outstanding job. And Tri-County just got a really tough draw. Pioneers had a really good year. Adam Berry's group has been outstanding. But if you look at Frontier, Aiden Justice, their quarterback, 13, right around just under 1,100 yards, 18 touchdowns, 1 interception. When you got a guy who's being that efficient with the football, you're going to have some good success. Dustin Steggy, the running back. Joseph Schroeder, the defensive lineman's been outstanding. He's got 17 tackles for negative yards. Pioneer is also an outstanding too. Micah Rands, their quarterback, has been outstanding, distributing the football both whether running or passing the football. Another kid, 16 touchdowns, only 1 pick. Also tremendous defensive players. They got 5 defensive players with 50 tackles or more. You have that. That's a great recipe for success. Taylor is a team in here that really trying to figure out where they're at. Robbie Patch has done a nice job. The Harris, the quarterback kid, has done an outstanding job, both running and throwing the football. That's what you're getting when you get to the small schools. You get these multi-purpose kids. They can do it all. Owen Collins, the linebacker, Alex Hall, Amari Shelton. All 3 of their linebackers have had great production all season long. It's a Taylor team that could cause some problems for some people. I'm not going to mail it in and say, hey, listen, just because Frontier is 8-0 and unbeaten, but that 5-2 Taylor team's pretty good. And certainly Pioneer and Adam Berry, he knows he's won a state championship. He's got a blue ring. So that's going to be a really tough situation. Taylor is the defending champion. They won their first last year. That'll be hard to repeat, however.
Turning the page to Sectional 43 across 1A North. Sectional 43, the defending champ is North Miami at 6-2. They'll be greeted by Northfield in Game 1. Game 2 will have 2-6 Southern Wells against 5-3 Triton. And in Game 3, Fort Wayne Blackhawk will be at Fremont. Fort Wayne Blackhawk at 2-6, Fremont at 5-3. Of note, Southwood at 3-5. They will play the winner of that Game 1 game, Coach Paul, between North Miami and Northfield.
North Miami, I think Joe Grant has done a nice job. And, of course, when you got a couple veteran guys on his coaching staff like Bud Wright and you look at that group, pretty good. 6-2 on the season. But they have some guys who can play the game. Like Mussal, outstanding running back, linebacker has been outstanding. Ryan Meredith also has had a really good. Logan Smith, their linebacker, has been good. Triton, on the other hand, you look at that group. I tell you what, Jaden Overmeyer has been an excellent senior two-way player. He's rushed for 1,000+ yards, but he also has 26 tackles and 8 tackles for loss. But look for big things again from their linebacking core. Colton Reynolds, a senior, has been outstanding. He's got 84 stops on the season. And Vincent Prater, their outstanding defensive lineman, has got 60 stops with 11 tackles for a negative yardage. I think it's North Miami and Triton, I would say, have to be the favorites. The interesting situation there is because both those teams are in the upper half of the bracket, and so they're going to have to meet each other probably in the semis.
We will conclude 1A North with Sectional 44. And again, we'll go into a timeout after this one, but Sectional 44 will start with Union City at Hagerstown. Union City at 2-6, Hagerstown at 3-5. Cambridge City will try and earn their first victory at Monroe Central. Monroe Central, a 500 record at 4-4. The defending Sectional 44 champion South Adams at 5-3 will host number 11 Madison Grant. Both ball clubs, Paul, at 5-3. And then lastly, Westdale at 4-3 will visit Tri at 4-4, 500 team.
Having to go to South Adams, that's a tough place to go. They're 5-3 on the season. Graham Mosher's just done a formidable job. Lehman, their quarterback, has thrown for 1,500 yards, 18 touchdowns. He's also ran the ball pretty well. Their linebacker, Nathan Plattner, has been really, really good defensively. I think the key thing there for Matt Grant, Brady Turner's kids have got to be able to, if they can win, I really believe the upper hand has to be with the winner of that 11th ranked Mad Grant team and that South Adams team. The winner there has to be the favorite as the bracket unfolds.
Today's broadcast of the IHSAA Champions Network is brought to you in part by Ivy Tech Community College. An Ivy Tech degree means you'll be ready on day one at your new job with over 70 programs offered and a faculty that meets you where you're at. Get started at ivytech.edu. As we go into a break, coming up 1A South, Bob Lovell after the timeout. We'll talk with Chuck Sorrell from South Putnam, and then the 1A South pairings will follow next. You're listening to the IHSAA Champions Radio Network, presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. This is your IHSAA.
Hi, I'm Dwight Freeney, and my friend Eli is alive today thanks to someone who said yes to organ donation. Eli and his dad love the Indianapolis Colts and have been going to games since Eli was very young. And in 2021, they were named the Colts Superfans of the Year. When Eli was just 12 years old, he received a liver transplant that saved his life because someone just like you said yes to being an organ donor.
I get to play football, I get to play basketball, I get to ride a bike, I get to do all this amazing stuff that makes me happy.
His story and many others like his are why I have teamed up with Indiana Donor Network and Donate Life Indiana to help end the wait for life-saving organs. You can help. Say yes to being an organ donor next time you are at the BMV and give someone like Eli a second chance.
When people hear our story, right, they feel they can do it too.
Your mortgage payments. The National Foundation for Credit Counseling is a nonprofit organization that has helped consumers in situations just like yours for more than 60 years. Our certified housing specialists will work with you to review your finances and create a custom plan that's right for your specific situation. NFCC member agencies provide free and affordable help and meet U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development standards. Call 866-687-6322 or visit mortgagehelpnow.org.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Bob Lovell, spending some time with some of the football coaches around the state, getting ready for the pairing show. I'm honored to be joined by Chuck Sorrell, the football coach at South Putnam. Coach, congratulations on a fun year for you and your guys. Your group can put up a lot of points against a lot of people this year.
Yeah, we really beefed up our schedule this year. We've got Northfield on our schedule. Eastern Hancock was a really good challenge, and Edgewood got better. And, We fought through some injuries, and we're starting to get healthy at the right time. But we're coming off a really really good season again for South Putnam. I think we've set the standard high, and we like to score a lot of points. And I'm just hoping our defense holds up in the tournament and gives us a really good chance to go far. I mean, that's our ultimate goal, is to win state championship level games, and that's what we're all about right now at South Putnam.
He's Chuck Sorrell. He's the football coach at South Putnam, awaiting news of who he'll be playing, who and his kids will be playing in the upcoming sectional tournament. Coach, thanks for your time. Congratulations again, and best of luck in the upcoming tournament.
We welcome you back to the 2025 IHSAA Football Tournament Pairing Show presented by the Indianapolis Colts on the IHSAA Champions Radio Network. This is your IHSAA. That was Bob Lovell with Chuck Sorrell, the head coach at South Putnam, and Paul Condry as we lead into the 1A South and Sectional 45. That's a perfect transition considering that number 3 South Putnam and Chuck Sorrell, who has done a fabulous job at that program, will lead off Sectional 45 by hosting Attica at 2-6 on the season. Game 2 in Sectional 45 features Park Heritage visiting Fountain Central. Covington will be at North Central Farmersburg in Game 3 of Sectional 45. And lastly, we round out with number 8 Riverton Park at 8-0, by the way, Paul, at North Vermilion, as North Vermilion tries to grab their first win of the season.
Yeah, first of all, let's start with Park Heritage, 8-0, or Riverton Park, 8-0 for the first time in school's history. Congratulations to them. But South Putt and Coach Chuck has done a great job there. Drew Klein, their quarterback, defensive back, 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns, 4 picks. He's also ran the ball very, very effectively. Also played well defensively with 40 stops. He's got a couple picks. His teammates, Ty Benton, the running back, has rushed for 1,295 yards, 13 touchdowns. Keenan Mowry Shields, the linebacker, has been outstanding, 86 tackles. So that's what they have on paper coming back, and those are just some of the highlight guys. Riverton Park is an interesting dynamic here as they're coming into this one 8-0, as I mentioned before. What an amazing job that they have done under Brad Sanders. Sean Besser, the running back, has rushed for 846 yards coming in this past week. They have 3 guys with 350 yards rushing or more. Derek Collum, linebacker, has been very, very good. And then Park Heritage, I think, is an interesting situation in this one. As I look at the Danny Rector's group, I think that group, Clayton Burgess, defensive lineman, has probably been their most prolific defensive player, 9 tackles, 51 tackles, 9 for negative yards. And they've got 5 players, Brendan, with 40 tackles or more. So they're a defensive group that has done a wonderful job of hawking to the football.
That's a physical ball club if there is one. On to Sectional 46 as we continue along in 1A South on this pairing show. Sectional 46 headlined by Sheridan, the defending champion. Sheridan has won 3 consecutive sectionals, and in 2022 and 2023 they were in Sectional 45. First of all, Clinton Central will be at Cloverdale to open up Sectional 46, followed by number 13, the aforementioned Sheridan group at 5-2, at Clinton Prairie, and then Indianapolis Tinley will have to wait on their opponent. Tinley will face the winner of Game 1 in that sectional, Paul.
You know, Sheridan, ranked 13, Jake Chessie has done a really nice job under difficult circumstances, having to take over for the legendary Bud Wright. Nobody would want to do that, the winningest coach in the history of football. But this group has done a nice job, Brendan. Really have Hayden Alexander, their running back and linebacker, has been outstanding both defensively and offensively. He is all over the field. A couple forced fumbles, a couple picks. He's got 3 tackles for negative yards. He's also scored 7 touchdowns as a running back. Alex Craven's another nice player. Also plays defensive back. He's got 39 tackles, a couple sacks, a couple forced fumbles, and they got 6 guys on this team with 35 tackles or more. So once again, you get a team like that who's going to be able to be aggressive to the football. I really believe that Sheridan, I hate to say this into the racing form, but man, I really believe that Sheridan's a one-horse race in this one. They have the legacy, they have the talent, and I think this is going to be a great group for Jake Chessie to win another storied sectional championship on Bud Wright Stadium.
Halfway through the 1A South, onto Sectional 47, featuring 7 of the 60 schools representing Class A. In Sectional 47, Milan, the defending champion, First of all, in Game 1, South Decatur will be at Eastern Green. South Decatur at 2-5, Eastern Green a 1-7 season. West Washington, a 500 record at 4-4, will be at Knightstown at 5-3. 1-7, Greenwood Christian will be at number 4 North Decatur, who has had another fabulous year at 6-1. And then the defending champion Milan, they'll be able to wait on their opponent. They'll get the winner of South Decatur at Eastern Green, Paul, in sectional 47.
And that puts Ryan Lankford's team in a really, really good position. They're down a little bit this year, 3-4 coming into the tournament series. But there are some teams in there you got to keep an eye on. West Washington at 4-4. Jeremy Lowry is one of the best coaches I've been around in a long time. But the guy who's really, I think, who's set himself as one of the top coaches in the last 25 years is Steve Stern at North Decatur. His team coming in at 6-1, and they've got players. Matthew Fields, their quarterback, has been outstanding. 15 touchdowns, 3 picks on the season, 914 yards. But they've got, once again, another great defensive team. 5 players with 35 tackles or more. Corbin Thackeray, their running back, has been very, very good. Knightstown is an interesting situation. Trent Taylor's done a nice job. They're 5-3 coming into this. Carmichael, the quarterback, has thrown for 1,700 yards. Once again, good interception to touchdown ratio at 19 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Wide receiver Brody Willard's been outstanding, 660 yards and 10 touchdowns. There are 2 defensive studs. Alex Muir, 99 tackles for this guy, 11 tackles and 4 sacks. And Brian Ellis, defensive lineman, has 13 tackles for negative yardage. Should be North Decatur's tournament to win, but don't count out Knightstown.
On to sectional 48. We will conclude Class A in that fashion. And as you can see, sectional 48 concludes with the defending state champion Providence. They are the 3-time defending sectional 48 champion, and of course knocked off North Judson in the state championship game last season. However, at the top, number 1 Springs Valley, a perfect 8-0. By the way, not the only 8-0 ball club in this sectional, by the way. Springs Valley will host Forest Park to open up sectional 48. Then it's the defending champ, number 5 Providence at North Knox, followed by number 9 undefeated 8-0 North Davies, who will travel to Perry Central. Lastly, it'll be South Spencer at Tecumseh to conclude sectional 48. Paul, first time seeing 2 undefeated teams.
Yes, Providence. First of all, Danny McDonald's guys have got to figure out what it's like to be able to be in that situation where they are being, instead of being the hunter, now they're going to be the team that's being hunted. They're going to have to play with a sense of urgency. They lost a couple ball games during the regular season. I wouldn't count them out, but Jason Lowe has resurrected the Springs Valley football program. And I tell you what, we're not thinking, when we think Springs Valley, we're thinking about number 33, Larry Bird, right? Well, I tell you what, he has brought a great football mentality to Springs Valley, and they're outstanding. Noah Allstott, their running back, has been outstanding. Augie Perkheiser, their linebacker, has been an outstanding part. But North Davies, first time in the history of school, they've been 8-0, and Keaton Graber has been a big part of that. 1,369 yards passing, 14 touchdowns, 3 picks. He's also run for 679 yards, and he's got also an outstanding teammate in Anderson Amon, a wide receiver linebacker who has caught 11 touchdown passes and also has 19 tackles for negative yardage. Once again, I love 1A football because we're seeing guys excel in 3 opportunities: special teams, offense, defense. It's really special 1A football.
The IHSAA would like to thank its 2 presenting sponsors for today's broadcast, the Indianapolis Colts and Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. This is your IHSAA. The Indianapolis Colts are the presenting sponsor of the 53rd IHSAA State Football Tournament throughout Indiana this fall. This is your IHSAA. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance is the official presenting sponsor of the IHSAA Champions Network, the most comprehensive state high school broadcast network in America. This is your IHSAA. Thank you both for your continued support of the IHSAA's 412 member schools and 160,000 student athletes. This is your IHSAA. So that's one section of this pairing show. That's Paul Condry. I'm Brendan King. 2A is next, and when we come back, Coach Bob Lovell will be with Mike Mosier, the head coach at Adams Central, who's off to a spectacular start this year entering the tournament. That's after this timeout, as you're listening to the IHSAA Champions Radio Network, presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. This is your IHSAA.
There's nothing like playing high school football under the Friday night lights. It's where we play for the love of the game.
To have fun with our friends, with the whole town supporting us.
To battle our greatest rivals with teammates we've grown up with. to huddle up and have each other's backs, no matter what. Because we believe in each other and want to succeed for our teammates even more than ourselves.
11 guys fighting together for every yard, every down, every touchdown to make our school proud.
There's something special about playing for our hometown that we'll never forget, that we'll miss when it's gone.
When the stands are full and the lights are shining bright, the crowd can't get any louder.
And you know, it just doesn't get any better than this.
I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig, celebrating the purity of high school sports by buying a ticket to your high school's next football game. This is for the love of the game. This is making your hometown proud. This is your IHSAA.
Life, there is no free lunch. Are you prepared? Do you have a plan? Who can you trust?
You can trust the NFCC, the nation's largest nonprofit network of credit counseling and financial education organizations. Our certified professionals will help you learn basic financial skills and give you the tools to meet financial challenges with confidence. Come learn with us at nfcc.org.
It's your money. Get smart about it.
A public service from the NFCC.
We're pleased and thrilled to be joined by Mike Mosier, the football coach at Adams Central. Coach, thank you so much for the time. For those who haven't seen your team, what kind of team, how do you describe your team to people when they're looking at Adams Central?
Well, you know, we're pretty simple. We're complicated behind the scenes, but we look pretty simple. You know, we like to play physical. We like to play tough. Offensively, we like to control the ball. We like to methodically move down the field. I mean, we have moments where we can score fast, but we usually don't. We like to drain clock as much as we can and score points as much as we can. And defensively, we just like to fly to the ball. We like to get to the opponents fast. We like to play physical, and that really describes Adams Central football.
He's Mike Mosier. He's the football coach at Adams Central. Coach, I greatly appreciate your time. Wish you nothing but the best in the tournament.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
And welcome back to the 2025 IHSAA Football Tournament Pairing Show presented by the Indianapolis Colts on the IHSAA Champions Radio Network. This is your IHSAA. That was Mike Mosier, the head coach at Adams Central, with Coach Bob Lovell. And as Adams Central is being featured, that will take us into the Class 2A breakdown on this pairing show with Paul Condrey. I'm Brendan King. We move into 2A North, and of course, that interview with Mike Mosier, you can hear the full interview on the IHSAA YouTube page. Starting with Sectional 33, featuring 7 of the 62 schools. That will be featured in Class 2A. Sectional 33 leads off with Wheeler visiting Lake Station Edison. Game 2, it's Rensselaer Central at Boone Grove. And in Game 3, Bremen takes on Whiting. After all of that, number 4 Andrean, Chris Skinner, leading them to a 7-1 record this year, Paul. They'll await the winner of that Wheeler and Lake Station game.
Once again, Andrean, one of the premier football programs, plays on a great conference, Northwest Crossroads Conference, coming in 7-1. It's an interesting situation. They're doing a dual quarterback situation this year with Brady Ellish and Dylan Gore. They've combined for over 1,000 yards passing, but Ethan Renia has been outstanding at running back and linebacker. Tyler Bowe, their wide receiver, has been outstanding. Christian Calvin, defensive lineman, is outstanding. Collectively as a team, Brendan, 52 tackles for negative yardage, including 10 sacks, and that's just in 7 games. They certainly have to be the prohibited favor. But Nick Tessa has done a nice job, the former Lake Central wideout. He has done a nice job down at Wheeler. And Lake Station, this is kind of a unique situation. The Edison Eagles under Glenn Gully, they've really kind of surprised a lot of teams. That's a team that certainly got to wonder where they're going to fit in the big picture of this, but I really think that that's a good one. Chris Meeks, always one of those best coaches around. Just recently won his 200th career game. He's got a great senior running back in Carter Ogborn. The linebacker Logan Metzger was an outstanding. He's got over a century worth of tackles right there. And Wheeler, I really like Logan Fox, their quarterback, has done a nice job. 65% passer on the season, but Levi Murray, running back, has been outstanding. 7.5 yards per rush so far this season. C.J. Chaffer, their linebacker, has been outstanding. Likewise was Noah Elmers, the linebacker. So some outstanding student athletes in this sectional. But Andren's strength of schedule, playing the likes of Maryville in the pre-conference schedule, and then playing the likes of Hobart and Lowell and those teams in the Northwest Crossroads Conference. makes their body of work, I think, better. And now that they got the bye, well, I tell you what, they're sitting in the catbird seat right now.
We'll take a peek at Sectional 34. 8 teams of the 62 schools from 2A. And 2A North here, we're halfway through. Sectional 34 starting with Delphi Community. They will be at Southmont. Southmont, one of the 2 7-1 ball clubs in this sectional. North Putnam at 3-5 will visit 5-3 Western Boone. And that's Lafayette Central Catholic, the 2-time defending Sectional 34 champion, at 7-1 Seeger. Lastly, 5-3 Lewis Cass will be at 1-7 North Montgomery. 2 7-1 teams, Paul.
Let's start with the 2 5-3 teams, though, because those 2 teams, and the reason I bring that up because they have got great coaching staffs. I look at Lewis Cass, Clayton Mannering, a young coach at Lewis Cass. His dad was, of course, Scott's there. Justin Pelley, who's at Western Boone, his dad Denny, both those guys. When you got Hall of Fame dads and Hall of Fame coaches on your staff, you got to give them an opportunity. I don't know if they've got the horses, and once again, you got to have the Jimmies and the Joes, as they say. But now getting back to the 7-1 teams, because they are very, very good. If you look at this Seeger team, Tucker Henderson has had an outstanding season. Paul Reagan, the defensive lineman's been really good. But Southmont, even though they lost their first ball game last time out, Desson Hannum done a marvelous job there. Avery Stadler, the running back, 846 yards rushing so far this season. But their linebackers, Bronson Clark and Cooper Charles, a junior and sophomore respectively, have been outstanding. They have combined for about 150 tackles and about 25 tackles for a loss collectively. This is one of those, I'm going to flip a coin and figure out where it's going to come down, because the 2 5-3 teams have chances. The question is, are the 2 7-1 teams, has their schedules throughout the regular season prepared them to be able to win multiple games against good teams in the same tournament?
Staying in 2A North and advancing to Sectional 35, you just heard from Mike Mosier, the head coach at Adams Central, and this will take us into the Jets. But first, starting in Sectional 35 with Prairie Heights, who will look for their first win of the season at 5-3 Manchester to get that started. 1-7 Whitco will be at 6-2 Eastside, and then that takes us into number 1 Adams Central, hosting Central Noble as the Jets try and remain perfect. And speaking of perfection, Paul, number 7 Bluffton, no longer perfect. They're now 7-1 because Adams Central beat them this previous Friday. So Bluffton will now be at Churubusco to cap off Sectional 35.
It's really, really difficult. Central trying to make it 5 straight trips to the state championship. They've won 22 straight football games, and they're loaded. Jamison Roach, their quarterback, has been outstanding through the first 7 games. 500 yards passing, about 600 yards rushing. Wide receiver Braylon Reaver's been great, but defensively, their linebackers are Reese Hammond, Xander Schwartz, defensive end Cam Frabel. He's on the cover of our Indiana Football Digest. This is a team, Brendan, collectively, that's given up only 10 touchdowns this season. They have outscored their opponents 264-72. Bluffton, we found out where they were at in their maturation, because they've got an outstanding young quarterback, and Axton Bess, a 76% passer, 1,100
yards. That doesn't sound real, does it? 76%?
When you think about it, 18 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. But once again, if you're going to win this tournament, and there's some solid teams in this tournament, you've got to have to figure out how to beat Adams Central, and no one's been able to do that for 22 straight games. And good luck to anybody who thinks they can knock off the champs.
We'll round out 2A North with Sectional 36, 8 teams of the 62 from Class 2A. Last year, it was Eastern Greentown winning their first sectional crown in school history, and they have backed that up with a fabulous year this year. However, it's highlighted by number 4 Eastbrook at the top at 8-0 at Alexandria Monroe at 6-2. Rochester is 7-1. They'll be at Elwood Community. Then Eastern Greentown, 7-1 their record at Blackford. Blackford tries to earn their first win of the campaign. Lastly, Wabash will face off with Tipton to wrap up Sectional 36.
Yeah, we got some power teams in this one. Rochester 7-1, Eastern Greentown 7-1. Alexander Monroe, Pete Gass and his son, got a great tandem there. His son's outstanding quarterback, but the beast and the elephant in the room, make no mistake about it, Jeff Adamson and the Eastbrook Panthers, 8-0 on the season, as good as they can get. Bodie Howells had a great year, rushing 7 times every time he touches the football. They're out rushing their foes, 308 yards in every game compared to only 91. So both they're doing it offensively and defensively. Ryder Gibson, their senior running back, is averaging 7 yards per rush. 8 touchdowns, plus this defense has been exceptional throughout the course of the season. Eastern Greentown, talked with Coach over the weekend. They're starting to get healthy, so they're excited to get some of their guys back. But Gibson Eagle, their quarterback linebacker, has been outstanding. Abe Edwards, #1 in the state in tackles, 18 tackles for negative yardage, 2 interceptions. Caleb Hurd, Cody Tara, Jaden Adams have all been outstanding so far this season. And Rochester, I think this is an interesting situation because they got a great two-way player in Brant Beck, who has rushed for 1,125 yards, 10 yards per rush. Also got 50 tackles and 11 for loss. 12 tackles, Brendan, with 12 players with 10 tackles or more. 58 tackles for loss collectively as a unit for the Zebras. Ronnie Schaefer's guys are playing good football.
This broadcast of the IHSAA Champions Radio Network is presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, and it's being heard on great radio stations across Indiana like WGCL in Bloomington, WBIW in Bedford, WCSI in Columbus, WRBI in Batesville, WBNL in Boonville, and WCJZ in Cannleton. After our next time out, we'll move on to 2A South, and Coach Bob Lovell will be back with us as well. Coach will catch up with Triton Central's Tim Abel. After this break, we'll conclude 2A as well when we come back, as you are listening to the IHSAA Champions Radio Network, presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. This is your IHSAA.
This fall, the Colts are teaming up with your favorite farms for something special. It's the Colts Fall Fest, presented by Back Nine Golf and Entertainment, where fall traditions meet football fun. Enjoy hay rides, corn mazes, and pumpkin patches from the farms you love. Plus, Colts appearances, giveaways, and more. Plan your visit now at Colts.com/fallfests. That's Colts.com/fallfests.
Times, it's easy to lose sight of the importance of saving for the future. The National Foundation for Credit Counseling wants you to know there are simple steps to set aside dollars each month. The most important is reviewing all your monthly expenses and establishing a household budget. Need help getting started? Speak with a certified credit counselor who can help map out a plan for you. Call the NFCC at 800-388-2227. This has been a public service message from the NFCC.
Hannah complained of a headache. It was a rhabdomyosarcoma. The tumor was very aggressive, and it very quickly became clear that St. Jude was the ultimate place to be. St. Jude is an asset to the world. I think it's the kind of place that could teach the world a couple of lessons about how to treat people. If those lessons could be learned, this world could be a better place.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Welcome back, everyone. We continue our conversations with outstanding football coaches in our state as we get prepared for the upcoming IHSAA Football State Championship. We're pleased to be joined by Tim Abel, the football coach at Triton Central. Sectional 38, like all, is balanced. It's difficult. You all know one another quite well. What do you have to do to emerge as a champion in this sectional?
Well, we got to stay healthy, first thing, obviously. But then again, we've got to continue to improve and practice. That's where everything happens. Monday through Thursday is the most important days of the week. Friday is a result of what we've done those days, and we got to keep stacking those days in our practice. This, again, got to get back with new people coming back. Got to reinvent the offense that we had at one time and get that synced back up. So it's been offensively, it's been a tough struggle for the last 3 weeks, but we're hanging in there and finding ways to win.
Tim Abel is the football coach at Triton Central in Sectional 38. Coach, thanks for your time and good luck in the upcoming tournament.
That's Coach Bob Lovell with Tim Abel from Triton Central as we welcome you back to the 2025 IHSAA Football Tournament Pairing Show presented by the Indianapolis Colts on the IHSAA Champions Radio Network. This is your IHSAA with the Hall of Famer Paul Condrey. I'm Brendan King. Halfway through Class 2A, it's time to hit 2A South, beginning in Sectional 37, which features 7 of the 62 schools that combine to pack 2A football, and we'll begin, Paul, with Indianapolis Lutheran, the defending Sectional 37 champion. Dave Pash and crew, they will visit Covenant Christian, who, remember, won that state championship back during the COVID era at Covenant Christian at 2-6. Heritage Christian will then be at Indianapolis Ritter, followed by Monrovia taking on Indianapolis Cecina. And then the winner of Game 1, that Lutheran and Covenant Christian game, will match up with 4-4 Park Tudor.
Yeah, I have a hard time when I look at this sectional, thinking, can anybody take on mighty Indianapolis Lutheran and respectfully be able to beat this football team? Dave Pasch is has turned out to be one of the best coaches in the history of Indiana football. All he does is win. They've won 7 straight conference championships. Mason Schrum, their quarterback, has been outstanding. I know that if they put it all together, they can beat any team in the entire state of Indiana. But Hudson Mills is coming off a great game against Heritage Christian this past weekend. He scored 6 touchdowns, ran for 276 yards, and I think they may have the best defensive lineman in the state of Indiana in Class 2A, and Logan Knerk. He's a guy who can really make some noise there. But I look at the teams. I know Dan Harris has done a nice job at Cecina, really kind of resurrecting that program. They're on the opposite side of that bracket. I think that's good for them. But boy, Lutheran, they have such a great pedigree. John Pasch, Dave Pasch, the Pasch team have just been awfully tough to compete against, Brendan.
Moving now into some heavy artillery, as Coach Bob Lovell would love to say. Sectional 38. 8 of the 62 schools featured in Class 2A, beginning with 7-1 Northeastern. They'll be at 5-3 Shenandoah to open up Sectional 38, followed by 7-1 Triton Central. You just heard from Tim Abel a moment ago. Triton Central ranked number 9 in Class 2A, visiting Centerville. Number 3, Lapel remains undefeated. We've talked about multiple undefeated teams in 2A. Lapel remains one of them. At Winchester Community, that should be a banger at 7-1. Lastly, Eastern Hancock, they're 5-3. They'll be at 1-7 Union County. I'll let you take the floor here for a huge sectional.
Yeah, this sectional is an exciting one because there are so many potential options. You've got great quarterbacks in here, just as a case in point. Devin Craig, who has thrown for over 9,000 career yards at Lapel, 1,500 yards. He was on the cover of our Indiana Football Digest. Jack Miller, great running back. Isaiah Young, their linebacker's been outstanding. They got 3 wide receivers that all have 25 catches or more. That's just Lapel. So we can talk about Triton Central, and what a job Tim Abel has done. One of the greatest ambassadors for the game of American tackle football that's ever come through the Hoosier State. Mac Wilkins, their quarterback, is slated to return from injury. I talked to Tim earlier today. Braden Brown, their 3-sport guy, has been their top rusher and tackler. He's been good. Zeke Robertson is a great multi-sport athlete, defensive back, wide receiver. Ty Bergman, their top tackler. Devin Gringagas has been really good. Dunbar, this is a really talented football team. And the other team you got to think about is Northeastern. Marshall Phillips, their senior quarterback, has thrown for 1,800 yards, 22 touchdowns, 3 picks. How about doing the math on that? 48 tackles. He also does it all. Trent Delaney, the wide receiver, has 789 receiving yards and 200 yards rushing. And then Gavin Platt, the linebacker, 96 tackles with 7 for loss. And you think their defense is a little average? Not. 20 tackles for 10 different defenders. And we haven't even talked about Winchester or Centerville. Winchester's got 3 kids that are playing really great. Aiden Weatherhead, their outstanding running back, defensive back. Caleb Hummel's been great. Carter Campbell's been great. Centerville, Jace Hollendonner, 1,700 yards passing, 27 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He has been outstanding. And, of course, Maddox Pritchett, their wide receivers, averaging nearly 18 yards per catch. 9 defenders with over 25 tackles, led by Ethan Becerra with 75 stops. This sectional is worth its weight in gold. It's a good one.
2A South is loaded in general. So we go from sectional 38 now to sectional 39 for some more huge ball games all across here. In sectional 39, first of all, it's Sullivan taking on South Vermilion. Pike Central will then face off against North Posey. Greencastle, with their 504-4 record, will be at Brown County. Lastly, it's Mitchell at Linton Stockton, and Paul Linton Stockton, the defending sectional 39 champion.
Yeah, and it's hard to go against Brian Oliver coach football team, but his son Paul Oliver has had a spectacular high school career. He started the first 3 games at wide receiver, tight end. He was on the cover of our Indiana Football Digest, and then he was thrust into action because of an injury, and so he decided he's going to put him at quarterback. Since then, he's scored 10 touchdowns, 518 yards rushing, 593 yards passing with 6 touchdowns. He's just been outstanding. And he also has got an outstanding running back in Russell Goodman, who is 484 yards, 10 touchdowns. He's also been a solid wide receiver. Defensively, Corey Andrews has been lights out, 62 stops, including 9 tackles for negative yards. Aiden Sparks, defensive lineman, has been also good. And then Paul, when he's not doing selling popcorn, taking tickets, and do whatever it takes, Paul Oliver does. Well, he's also playing defense where he has 6 sacks, 19 tackles for yardage, and 18 hurries. He is an outstanding player. But we can't talk about Sectional 39 without talking about the commissioners, North Posey Vikings, because tell you what happened just a couple years ago in 23, North Posey got to the state championship. The commission was on high. He was high as a kite that weekend. I know he was, because Waylon Shank's kids got him there. But Carter Schnickel, their quarterback, is a 69% passer, over 1,800 yards, 23 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. It's becoming a recurring thing. Brett Buer, their running back, 121 yards per rush. Remy Johnson, Dylan Murphy, outstanding wide receivers with over 600 yards per receptions. These guys have been outstanding. So it's going to be a great race between, I think, North Posey and Linton.
We'll put a bow on the 2A South with Sectional 40. And in Sectional 40, again, 2A South concludes here. We'll then toss it to a break before we get to 3A. We'll start with 4-4 Crawford County, who will be at 3-5 Clarksville to open Sectional 40. Salem also has a 4-4 record. They'll have a challenging game at 6-1 Switzerland County. But here's the moneymaker in Sectional 40, the defending champion Brownstown Central. They're not only the defending champs, they're 8-0, another perfect team in Class 2A leading into this last Friday. At Tell City will be Brownstown Central. Lastly, Eastern Pekin takes on Paoli. It just seems like that challenge at the top, Paul. You talk Adams Central, Brownstown Central, LaPel. Bluffton was undefeated until just a week ago. It is packed in that top 5.
My favorite story, maybe in all of 2A football, believe it or not, may be Crawford County at 4-4. Here, Crawford County, a relatively new program in historical significance, but winning 4 games for that program. Wonderful job by young head coach Nick Stroud. He's a Crawford County graduate. Kudos to Nick for doing the job. But once again, you're talking Sectional 40, and how can you argue against Brownstown Central and what Reed May has done? Team is rushing right around 300 yards per game. They have 8 productive ball carriers. Preston Garrison, a tremendous athlete. He can rush, he can pass. He has 2 punt returns for a touchdown. He's got a kickoff return for a touchdown. One of the most versatile players in all of 2A. And then Switzerland County, I really like what Ryan Jessup has done there because he's got a great player in the running back, Matt Young. Colvin Beck, their linebacker, has been outstanding. And then Paoli, Neil, I love what he's done there. Dane Paget averaging 15.4 yards per rush. That's getting after it. And also 26 yards per catch. Scored 12 touchdowns so far this season. Justin Thornton averaging 12 yards per rush. And then they have 10 defenders with over 10 tackles. Wow. Really good Paoli team.
Unbelievable. Today's broadcast of the IHSAA Champions Network is brought to you in part by Ivy Tech Community College. Each year, over 70,000 high schoolers earn college credit at Ivy Tech while still in high school. And they save on tuition while doing it as well. Find out more at ivytech.edu. That's Class 2A. We're now on to 3A North after a quick timeout. When we come back, Bob Lovell will catch up with Mississinawa's Jeremy Lochner, and the 3A pairings will be revealed. You're listening to the IHSAA Champions Radio Network, presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. This is your IHSAA.
High school sports have a unique way of setting the tone for our entire school community. How? By demanding our very best, no matter who we are.
Every student, coach, parent, and fan has a responsibility to practice good sportsmanship at athletic events. It's on each of us to lead by example with our behavior.
The way we behave is not only a reflection of our own character, but of our schools as well. It lets everyone know this is how we do things at our school. This is what we expect. This is who we are.
So, whether you're playing, coaching, or cheering, always demonstrate integrity with your words, actions, and attitudes at our athletic events. Our school's image is up to us.
I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig. Help set the tone by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events. This is leading by example. This is leaving a positive impression. This is your IHSAA.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. I'm Bob Lovell. I'm proud to be alongside Jeremy Lochner, the football coach at Mississinawa. Coach, thank you so much for taking time to be with us, and congratulations on the tremendous season to this point.
Yeah, we've been lucky. We've played pretty healthy, and we're playing some pretty good ball right now. So it's been an exciting year so far, and looking forward to what we can do come playoff time.
Coming into the season, did you have these expectations that this team could reach this height?
We knew we had the potential. There were so many unknowns with only returning 2 starters on defense and 4 starters on offense. So we were kind of in not really a rebuild mode, but a lot of unknowns as far as guys that hadn't played a lot on Friday nights. So we knew we had some weapons, and we had some things to work with, and we had a really strong line up front. But a lot of good pieces fell into the right spots right now, so and things are looking pretty good for us.
Coach Jeremy Lochner from Mississinawa, getting ready to find out who's playing whom in Sectional 28. Coach, thanks for your time. Best of luck to you and your guys in the upcoming tournament.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
That's Coach Bob Lovell with Jeremy Lochner, the head coach at Mississinawa, and you can hear that full interview on the IHSAA YouTube page. We welcome you back to the 2025 IHSAA Football Tournament Pairing Show, presented by the Indianapolis Colts on the IHSAA Champions Radio Network. This is your IHSAA. Here as we hit the top of the hour, we owe you a legal ID break. We will do that right now as we pause 10 seconds for our network station identification. This is the 2025 IHSAA Football Tournament Pairing Show, presented by the Indianapolis Colts on the IHSAA Champions Radio Network. This is your IHSAA. Good to have you back with Paul Condry. I'm Brendan King. Paul, time to move into 3A North, and as well, we just heard from Mississinawa's Jeremy Lochner, and we were talking during the break here in 3A with Heritage Hills moving on. We're going to crown a new state champion, and we will roll into Sectional 25, beginning our 3A North coverage here on the Pairing Show this evening, and we'll begin with John Glenn visiting Calumet to lead off Sectional 25. That's followed by Mishawaka Marion taking on River Forest. Griffith at 7-1 will be at Hammond Knoll. It'll be number 5 Knox, led by Russ Radke and their terrific rushing attack at Jimtown. And Paul, I know where you're going with this one. Talk to us about Miles McLaughlin.
Well, Miles McLaughlin, what an amazing career. Just taking a look at some of the hypothetical numbers right now at 9,856 career total. Needs 1,011 to break the legendary Charlie Spiegel's record of 10,867. If somehow, some way, this Knox team makes a deep tournament run, is it possible that Derrick Hendry's legendary national record could be broken? It would probably, if you project it out, it could be in the national, it could be in the state championship game if that were to play itself out. But he needs 2,268 yards, and that's really the big story. I mean, if there's a guy,
that's light work, right?
Yeah. I mean, when you're giving the guy today, giving the ball to that guy, what can you say? Already, Miles, 2,468 yards coming into this past weekend, 39 touchdowns. You sent it all. I really think that what's the unique story as this develops is this potential semifinal matchup between Griffith and Knox, and that might be taken away from Jimtown or Knoll. The two teams have got to play, but Griffith. Russ Recchi was the head coach of Griffith High School from 93 to 2011. All he did was win 10 sectionals, 4 regionals, and won a state championship. So now he's going back home, and he's going to have to deal with, and I tell you what, Phil Mason's done a marvelous job. Ryan Bullion, their quarterback, has been great. Desmond Nelian, the Tedder kid, the Cortez kid have all had really, really good years. There's just to name a few. The Griffith Panthers have been outstanding this season. But the matchup between Russ Recchi and Phil Mason, and I know the players are important, don't get me wrong, but man, the undercard right there is a spectacular thing to talk about. So, but congratulations to Miles McLaughlin. He was on the cover of our football book, and he has just brought a national prominent story to Indiana high school football. So I hope he has a great and injury-free tournament, and it'd be neat to see him get that national record.
Turning the page to Sectional 26 in our look at 3A North. Class 3A represented by 61 total schools, 8 of them here, beginning with Garrett visiting Fairfield. Both teams are 3-5. Woodland will be at Lakeland in Sectional 26. Then our first ranked squad that we see, number 12, Tippecanoe Valley. They'll be at Angola. Tippecanoe Valley at 6-2. Angola 500 record at 4-4. Lastly, Fort Wayne Concordia Lutheran will visit number 9 West Noble. Paul Condry.
I think West Noble, of course, they lost their first ball game this past weekend to Churubusco. They're a pretty good football team. When you look at Monty Marwater's group, I like Trey Schisler, their quarterback, has thrown for over 1,000 yards. He's also rushed for a couple hundred yards. But Xavier Yates, their defensive back, has been outstanding, 61 tackles. And Ethan Yates, their linebacker, with 54 stops, has been really, really good. But Tippy Valley, Grady Moriarty, the running back linebacker, has been outstanding. He's rushed for 695 yards, but he also has been a ball hawker on defense, 57 tackles. But also look for Wes Parker, the running back. He has nearly 1,000 yards rushing with 10 scores. Gonzalez, Almondi also have been very, very good as overall players for this Tippy Valley team. Vikings are going to be a tough situation if they find themselves in a position where they get a chance to play at home when the game is on the line. Death Valley's a tough place to go to if they get there.
Halfway through 3A North, we'll go to Sectional 27. 8 teams of the 61 3A schools represented as well. Game 1 of Sectional 27, 4-4 Northwestern will be at Peru to open up Sectional 27. Then last year's winner, Maconaquah, their first ever sectional title a year ago. They just happen to be undefeated at number 7 in Class 3A. They'll be at Twin Lakes, which could be a very good game at 6-2. West Lafayette at number 13 Western. Western is 6-2. West Lafayette is 2-6. And Paul, that Sectional 27 will conclude with Frankton meeting Benton Central.
I like this tournament here. Maconaquah, Aiden Robinson has been outstanding. 2,000 yards passing. Brendan, the youngster from Maconaquah, 23 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. But look for guys like Marcel Sims, the running back, defensive back, Noel Torah, a running back, a wide receiver, defensive back. Karsten Hollers have been really good. Hollers, 90 tackles on the season. I really, really like this Maconaquah team, and Michael Fenters has really changed the culture there. Western is an interesting situation here. Austin Colby, of course, who has a chance to coach with his dad, and what a great opportunity is for the Colby family to keep on that amazing Colby legacy. Matthew McKittrick, the running back, has been outstanding, 900-plus yards, also done a nice job of receiving the football. Great job defensively as well. Levi Shoemaker has been a really solid contributor at the quarterback spot. Look for him to be able to run and try to pass. But the interesting story here, I think, is Twin Lakes. And I think one of it happens to be is Kevin O'Shea, one of the premier coaches that Hoosier State's ever had. Cooper Dold has had a great season with 1,872 yards passing, 21 touchdowns. And Ethan Need has been outstanding in catching the football. I believe it's Ledger Schaefer, also a great job. And how about Chewy Walters? What a great name for a defensive guy. Chewy Walters. Best I've ever heard. 79 tackles, 4 for negative yardage. Colton Robertson has been outstanding with 5 picks and 57 tackles. But when you got a guy by the name of Chewy on your defense, man, you know you got a great place to be.
I hope after a sack he does the Chewbacca impression.
Oh, that would be great.
That's the only way it could possibly get better. That Sectional 27 will conclude 3A North with Sectional 28. Beginning with number 6, Mississinawa. You heard from Jeremy Lochner with Coach Bob Lovell a few moments ago. Number 6, Mississinawa will open at Oak Hill at 5-3 on the season. Jay County takes on Belmont, followed by Norwell in Game 3 at Heritage. Heritage a 5-3 start to the season. Lastly, number 11, Fort Wayne Bishop Lures. With the schedule they play, it's so difficult. Still ranked number 11 at 4-4. They'll be at Delta at 3-5. Anytime you're in the 2-6-0, that's tough football.
Yeah, no question about it. And don't allow that 4-4 record. That's just forget about it. It's a brand new season. As far as I'm concerned, Lures is, of course, they were a state finalist a year ago, and you can never count out a team that's had the success that they had. So let's put that in everybody's mind. Mississinawa is an interesting group. Elijah Mundy, the running back, has been outstanding so far this season, rushing for nearly 900 yards and 10 touchdowns. Also, an outstanding defensive player as well. But Caden Faust, our defensive lineman, is really the guy who makes that team go. He's got 14 tackles for negative yardage and 37 stops and 5 sacks. But Lures, it's been running back by committee all season long. And when you have a team that's got great balance like that, you can't go against the Knights just based upon a resume that they've had in years past. They're a legacy football team, one of the top programs in the history of our state. It's a hard team to figure out, but I wouldn't want to bet against that group ever.
The IHSAA would like to thank its two presenting sponsors for today's broadcast, the Indianapolis Colts and Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. This is your IHSAA. The Indianapolis Colts are the presenting sponsor of the 53rd IHSAA State Football Tournament throughout Indiana this fall. This is your IHSAA. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance is the official presenting sponsor of the IHSAA Champions Network, the most comprehensive state high school broadcast network in America. This is your IHSAA. Thank you both for your continued support of the IHSAA's 412 member schools and 160,000 student athletes. This is your IHSAA. Coming up next, we just got done with 3A North. 3A South will follow, and so will Coach Bob Lovell's conversation with Nick Hart, the head coach at Gibson Southern. 3A South follows after this. You are listening to the IHSAA Champions Radio Network, presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. This is your IHSAA.
Your Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent is here to help you navigate all the ins and outs of insurance.
That's right. Julie's always there for me. She's the best.
Nice. Your agent knows.
My girl Julie. Jules, the crown jewel. Julie Jukebox. Yours, Julie.
When you've got an agent who knows...
Jewel Belt. Jewel Log. Julie Noted.
You call your agent all these nicknames?
Not yet, but I totally could. It's all cool with Jewel.
Get to know an Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent, and you'll never have to go it alone. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Let's insurance together.
Colts fans, want to stay connected with the team all season long? Follow the Colts on social media. Get behind-the-scenes access, breaking news, and exclusive content. Follow @Colts on your favorite platforms for the latest team updates and player content. Plus, don't forget to check out @ColtsLife to see off-the-field fashion, events, giveaways, and more. That's @Colts and @ColtsLife.
My grades were bad. I appeared to be doing good at my school life, but if you would see me at home, it would have been a completely different story.
I mean, it was just rough focusing on school when your mother is somebody you have to take care of.
There are students who need somebody.
Communities in Schools is helping more than 1.3 million kids get whatever they need to succeed in school. You can help change the picture of education at communitiesinschools.org.
I hear people say we can't save every kid, but I think that we can.
We're pleased to be joined by Nick Hart from Gibson Southern. Coach, congratulations on another great year for you and Gibson Southern. Try to tell people what this team is all about.
I think it's probably one of the more complete teams we've had. We returned a lot of guys up front on both sides of the ball. I think coming into the year, our offensive line had like 93 combined starts. So obviously that's added up as we've gone through the year. We brought back 6 of our front 7 on defense. So, I think it's just really, really complete, really balanced, both offensively and defensively. I think, it's kind of a different guy every night that has a big night or even through the course of a game, kind of what you want as a coach, right? It's not one guy doing all the work. It's just a complete team.
Nick Hart, the head coach at Gibson Southern there. Nick, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck to you guys next week.
Great to have you back for the 2025 IHSAA Football Tournament Pairing Show presented by the Indianapolis Colts. on the IHSAA Champions Radio Network. This is your IHSAA. That was Coach Level with Nick Hart, the head coach at Gibson Southern, and you can hear the entirety of that interview on the IHSAA YouTube page. With the Hall of Famer Paul Condry, I'm Brendan King. Thanks to the crew on hand as well. We will get into 3A South, concluding our look at 3A and the pairings, starting with Sectional 29 in 3A South. And this one, again, has some huge matchups to come, including an undefeated squad. You'll see more and more 8-0 teams as we go along through the conclusion of this program today. In Sectional 29, we will lead things off with Cascade taking on Indianapolis, Washington. Cascade at 8-0, led by Connor Simmons against Indianapolis, Washington, and Ramon Stallings. That takes us into number 8, Tri-West. They'll be at West Vigo. Speedway will then take on Crawfordsville, and Garing Catholic at 4-4. Hamilton Heights at 4-4. I know you had that one circled.
I did. I think Tommy Dilly, John Kirshner matchup. I think it's going to be an intriguing matchup. I think the winner there certainly is going to put itself in a position, because I think the two power teams in this side of this bracket are Cascade and Tri-West. Tri-West, of course, is back-to-back defending champions because Jack Sorge, their quarterback. The 11th graders had a great season, 2,000 yards passing, 24 touchdowns, 8 picks. He's also ran the ball effectively. Carter Cummings, their wide receiver, has caught 7 touchdown passes for 725 yards. And Abe Hayes, their linebacker, has been outstanding with 78 stops. But Cascade is really, this has been a really metamorphosis of a program. Cascade under Connor Simmons, their quarterback, Braden Trebly, 1,300 yards, 20 touchdowns. MJ Hobson, their wide receiver, has been effective, both running as well as receiving. Tim Turner, their linebacker, only a 10th grader, has 18 tackles for negative yardage, 8 sacks, 34 stops. And then you got guys like Braxton Lewis, Toby Sabini, Lucas Farmer, Don Appleby, all playing great on the defensive side of the football. So this is a Cascade team that has got some depth. It's got a little bit of a moxie to it. But Jason Ward has done a really formidable job, BK, I think, in his time at Tri-West. Of course, he was a player at Tri-West, won a state championship as a player at Tri-West. And this is a really intriguing matchup that those two teams meet in the semifinals. And then, of course, I really believe that it's either going to be Garing Catholic or Hamilton Heights, meaning one of those two teams in the final.
On to Sectional 30 we go in 3A South. Again, we are concluding our look at 3A on the pairing show presented by the Indianapolis Colts. This is your IHSAA. Sectional 30 leads us off with Franklin County at Batesville. And that gets us into Greensburg visiting Purdue Poly. Rushville will be against South Dearborn. Rushville at 2-6, South Dearborn at 4-4. And then, Paul, waiting in the wings, number 4 Lawrenceburg, who was in the state championship game back in 2022. They'll await the winner of that Franklin County-Batesville game.
Yeah, Batesville, the defending champion, little down this year under Evan Ulrey, 3-5 on the season, but I wouldn't count them out since especially if they have a home game. Franklin County, Wyatt Bowling's done a really nice job of taking care of business, whether it be running or passing the football respectively. He's been very, very good in regards to rushing the football. Elijah Neumeister, defensive lineman, has been outstanding. 54 stops, 3 for negative yardage. That's the Franklin County resume, but Lawrenceburg, Crew Gilmore, their quarterback, has been outstanding. 74% passer, 1,200 yards, 17 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Like guys who have that efficiency. And, of course, they ran the football with great efficiency. Keaton McGrath, their defensive back, wide receiver, has been very, very good. He's caught 9 touchdown passes. But, once again, 4 players with 40 tackles or more on their defense. That means they got guys who are productive and are ball hawkers. This is going to be a Lawrenceburg Tiger team that you got to keep an eye on.
Spinning along to Sectional 31, halfway through our look at 3A South. In Sectional 31, Owen Valley will lead us off. They will be at Madison Consolidated. Then Corydon Central will take a look at North Harrison. Edgewood will be at number 10, Scottsburg. Scottsburg at 7-1 on the year. And lastly, it's Indian Creek at 5-3. Indian Creek will also get to scout a little bit. They'll get the winner of Owen Valley and Madison Consolidated, Paul.
And that's a great place for Indian Creek to be, because they're going to have a chance to win their first game, and they get into the second half. The northern half of that, or the top half of that tournament, is certainly most winnable when you look at it. But I think the two teams are In addition to Indian Creek, Edgewood and Scottsburg, what a great first-round matchup there. Scott Fisher has done a really, really nice job with his group right there. Gunnar Perry, we did a feature story on Colts.com earlier this season on him. He is an outstanding multi-sport athlete, 82 tackles. He's also been able to receive the ball with great efficiency. A really nice player. Their defensive has 4 players with over 50 tackles or more, so they can bring it there. Braxton Carpenter, their running back, has been outstanding. Braylon Linerud, their quarterback, has been efficient. Scottsburg is an interesting situation because I don't know if their schedule has been as difficult as Edgewood's, but Nathan Bird, their quarterback, has been efficient. 21 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 1,500 yards. Has also ran the ball okay. Landon Shuck, the running back, over 1,000 yards rushing for him. Also has done well on the defensive side of the football. Garrett Bowling has had an outstanding season with 102 tackles, 15 for negative yardage, and he's also been able to haul in 26 passes for 223 yards. So this is going to be an interesting matchup. If Scottsburg, they have it by the numbers, but will they be able to sustain it over the course of a 2 or 3 week period? That will be the question I have about Scottsburg.
We will cap off our look at 3A and the 3A South specifically with Sectional 32. And Paul, this is one I had circled because trying to find a winner here is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. When you take into account the records in this sectional as well as the historically great programs in this sectional, including number 2 Gibson Southern at 7-1. They'll get Vincennes Lincoln, who is a sneaky 3-5. Mount Vernon, they're 5-3. Southridge is hanging in there at 4-4. Evansville Mater Dei, I don't need to tell you about the historical significance of that program. 4-4, they'll meet 3-5 Princeton. And then all of this, undefeated Evansville Memorial, number 1 in Class 3A. They'll await the winner of that Gibson Southern Vincennes Lincoln game. How do you find a winner here?
Well, I tell you what, Gibson Southern, Nick Hart has done a nice job. Everybody thinks about the great success that John Hart has had. He was the National Coach of the Year last year at Brownsburg, but his son Nick has done a pretty good job too. He was named Indianapolis Colts Coach of the Week just a couple of weeks ago. His team's 7-1. Zach Foster, their quarterback, 1,200 yards passing, 18 touchdowns, 6 picks. 6 picks. He's also rushed for 699 yards and 6 touchdowns. I really like Brody Clem. We put him on the cover of the Indiana Football Digest. He's a great defensive lineman. 3-time All-State kid, 37 tackles, but 15 of them for negative yardage. Cale Campbell also has been outstanding. He's got 14 tackles for negative yards. But Evansville Memorial, all the accolades goes to this group. 18 takeaways. They have 4 defensive touchdowns. They've been outstanding in what they've been able to do. Their kicker, which is one of the things. We don't talk about kickers too much, but what a job by Pat Barrett. 19 of 26 in the field goals over the career. He's a 4-year starter. He has only missed 6 point after touchdowns over the course of his career. Luke Brown, the quarterback, has been outstanding. 16 touchdowns, 2 picks. Grayson Carter, the linebacker, outstanding. Brody Combs, the defensive lineman. My, oh my, this is a team that is outstanding. Look out for Evansville Memorial. They have all the horses. If they can get past Gibson Southern, I think Indianapolis is in their future.
This broadcast of the IHSAA Champions Radio Network is presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, and it's being heard on great radio stations across Indiana like WPGW in Portland, WJOB in Hammond, from Seabury, Kentucky, WREF, as well as WEFM in Michigan City, WSLM in Salem, WRIN in Rensselaer, WSVX in Shelbyville, WIBC in Indianapolis, WJOB in Hammond, and WKVI in Knox. So that's your look at 3A on this pairing show presented by the Indianapolis Colts. That's Paul Condrey. I'm Brendan King. When we come back, we hit 4A and Bob Lovell's conversation with East Noble's head coach Alex Stewart. 4A is after the break as you're listening to the IHSAA Champions Radio Network presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. This is your IHSAA.
My days of playing basketball for North Posey High School are still some of my favorite memories. Years later, I can still remember the feeling of wearing my Vikings jersey proudly and representing my community. I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig, and these student athletes know how that feels.
It's an honor to represent my school and wear their name, to have the entire community rooting for my success, to contribute to my school's legacy and all the student athletes who came before me. I'm Josie Campbell, and I'm a proud Brownsburg Bulldog.
Playing high school sports gives me a sense of ownership in my school. I get the chance to have a positive impact on my school's reputation, to help carry out our traditions, and to be the best person and player I can be. I'm Jet Wolfley, and I'm a proud Terre Haute North Patriot.
Demonstrate your pride by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events. This is promoting school spirit. This is making your community proud. This is your IHSAA.
Hi, I'm Arielle Winter. If you're anything like me, your pets are not only your best friends, they're part of your family. American Humane, which has been rescuing animals like Cleo here for more than 100 years, has life-saving tips that can make a big difference in a disaster. When disaster strikes, you want to protect your whole family, including your pets. To help keep your family safe and help our best friends in their worst times, find tips at AmericanHumane.org.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Bob Lovell. Honored to be able to talk to some of the great football coaches around our state as we get ready for tournament time. We're joined by Alex Stewart from East Noble High School. So tell me about the highlights of this year, what your team is like. If you had to describe it to other people on the outside, what's this team about?
I think the key thing for us is that we're balanced. Our defense is playing really well, and they've done a great job of containing the run. And then, we've played with our back against the wall several times and not giving up points. And we just have a lot of kids that fly around and get to the football. And then, on the offensive side of the ball, it's very balanced. We've got a good running attack. We've got a good passing attack. We don't have one necessarily overall superstar on our entire team. We've just got a really good team of great players.
Alex Stewart, the football coach at East Noble High School. Coach, thanks so much for your time and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you. God bless. Go Knights.
Our guy Bob Lovell with Alex Stewart, the head coach at East Noble, as this pairing show presented by the Indianapolis Colts moves into Class 4A. And that full interview, you can see it on the IHSAA YouTube page. With the Hall of Famer Paul Condrey, I'm Brendan King. Time to get to Class 4A and our pairings at this level. Starting with the 4A North, Sectional 17 is going to be our first stop. And in Sectional 17, the first matchup that we're able to break down is Hanover Central taking on Lowell. Highland will be at East Chicago Central in Game 2. Game 3 features Kankakee Valley and Gary Westside. Lastly, in Game 4, New Prairie and Hobart, right along your neck of the woods, Mr. Condrey.
Yeah, good to see the alma mater having a pretty solid season. I'll get a chance to see them actually in the first round of the playoffs because the big schools will be off for a week, and they'll be at Don Howfield at the Brickyard taking on a New Prairie team that's kind of struggled. One got a little bit on a roll as of late, but this is an interesting situation. I think you look at the power of this. Lowell, who beat Hobart earlier in the season 20-17, and you think the two power teams would be Lowell in the upper half of the bracket and Hobart at the bottom half. But Brody Kolminski, the quarterback at Lowell, has been outstanding, very, very efficient. 738 yards passing. Also ran the ball for 544 yards. Tim James, a running back. Always great stable of running backs at Lowell High School. Lincoln Schneider, linebackers, been pretty solid. 66 stops for him. But for Hobart, it comes down to can they make sure that they protect Alex Tatum, the junior quarterback. 54% passer, 991 yards. He's also rushed for 376 yards. Von Child Jones, our linebacker. Josh Diaz, defensive linesman, very, very good. 3 players with over 45 tackles. But what's interesting in this situation, you've got Hobart won at Kankakee Valley. Hobart lost at home to Lowell. Lowell won at Hanover. So the question is, with several of these teams playing in the same league, are they going to play like they did in the first time they saw them? It's hard to beat a team twice. It's certainly a difficult time when everything is on the line, like moving on in the postseason tournament.
And, of course, mentioning any game in Class 4A, New Palestine moving to Class 5A. We'll have a new champion in 4A as well as we take it to Sectional 18. 8 teams featured of the 62 total schools at Class 4A. This is Sectional 18. It's Plymouth leading off in Game 1. Plymouth will take on South Bend, Washington. In Game 2, the Mishawaka Cavemen will draw Northwood. Mishawaka at 7-1. Northwood is 500 at 4-4. Wawasee at 1-7. They'll meet 2-6 Northridge. And then it's South Bend Riley at 3-5, meeting South Bend St. Joseph. South Bend St. Joseph at number 8, Paul.
Mishawaka, a 1-point win last time they played Northwood 26-25 in week number 4. You look at South Bend Riley at South Bend St. Joe. St. Joe won 21-6, so the games like they were not a blowout. St. Joe under Ben Downey's had a really, really nice season. Offense by committee, 4 players with 250 yards rushing, 5 defensive players with 35 tackles. But I think Mishawaka is the favorite in this tournament. Caden O'Neill, the running back, has been outstanding. 1,000 yards rushing, 11 touchdowns. But they have one of the most prolific guys who run the offense as well as anybody, and that's junior quarterback Langdon Center. This guy can just do it all. Runs that midline, 1,102 yards rushing, 19 touchdowns. He's been efficient throwing the football, but they have a tremendous linebacker in Camden Putz, 98 tackles, 6 tackles for negative yardage. But if Mishawaka can get past Northwood in the upper half of the bracket, they will get to the finals, and I like Mishawaka to win this Sectional 18 title.
Halfway through 4A North, we'll continue on to Sectional 19. 8 more teams featured here as we go into Sectional 19. And we see a couple games from the 2-6-0. Sectional 19 has got Fort Wayne taking on Fort Wayne Southside. In Game 2, New Haven meets East Noble. We just heard from Coach Stewart from East Noble with Bob Lovell as we came back from the break. Game 3, it's Columbia City taking on DeKalb. And then in Game 4, Fort Wayne Bishop Dwenger. They're number 7 in Class 4A at 6-2. And Paul, as you like to put it, a slobber knocker may follow because they meet number 5 Leo at 7-1.
Very similar to Sectional 28. This is a sectional that you've got 4 or 5 teams that if they get on a roll, they can win. East Noble, the defending champion, certainly get to the finals. Riley Biddle, their quarterback, 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns, 6 picks. It's been outstanding. Austin Phillips has been outstanding at linebacker and running back. 4 guys with 50 tackles more. At Leo, quarterback has been outstanding. In Titus Stroller, has been 65% passer. He's also ran the ball with efficiency. A matter of fact, Leo's lone loss was to East Noble, 56-40 in week number 5. Leo, very, very talented group. And, of course, Nathan Foster, their senior running back, 1,300 yards. You talk about DeKalb. DeKalb has had a really nice season. Senior QB, Eli McCormick, 1,400 yards, 16 touchdowns, 4 picks. But they've got players. And talk about DeKalb, I really, really like what they've done with their complementary players, Hall and Schwab. Those guys have done a great job defensively, 65 and 66 tackles respectively. And then Bishop Dwenger. Bishop Dwenger is 6 points away, Brendan, from being 8-0 right now. Offense by committee, Douglas Henry, the linebacker, 73 stops, 9 for negative yardage. And K.C. Piper, defensive lineman, 69 stops, 15 for negative yards. He's got 3 fumble recovers, a block kick, forced fumble, and 3 sacks. Bishop Dwenger, they play a great league up there in northeastern Indiana. Don't count them out because I really, really like what Jason Garrett's done there. A team that can be reckoned with, but a great matchup between Dwenger and Leo in round 1. That is going to be a slobber knocker.
I love it. We'll wrap up 4A North with Sectional 20. This is the smallest sectional of 4A North with 7 teams involved. So Lebanon leads us off at 7-1. They'll take on Culver Academies. Then Muncie Central at 5-3 meets Marion. Huntington North at 3-5 takes on Logansport. Logansport, a very good season at 6-2. And then that leaves Frankfort, Paul, at 0-8, but they will get to await the winner of that game 1 between Lebanon and Culver Academy.
Yeah, you look at this Lebanon team. The lone loss for that group was at Pendleton Heights in week number 1, so they've been on a roll, and that was only a 1-score game. If you look at Logansport, you know, they got a 1-point loss and an 8-point loss. So these are 2 teams, a play here, a play there. They could be unbeaten. But Chris Hill, the quarterback at Lebanon, has been solid, 64% passer, the 1,000-yard passer. Josh Parks, the running back, is 900-plus yards rushing the football. Caden Yates and Dylan Ghostware, their linebackers have been good. Logansport, I really like what Carson Jackson, the freshman linebacker, has done. He's played very, very well. They've got 5 players with more than 35 tackles. And Elliot Baldini, the running back, has rushed for over 1,000 yards. So this is going to be a really attractive one. Muncie Central is a team. Got to keep an eye on Kyle Burris. They could be kind of one of those teams that if somebody stumbles, watch out for the Bearcats.
Today's broadcast of the IHSAA Champions Network is brought to you in part by Ivy Tech Community College. An Ivy Tech associate degree means you got hands-on training with state-of-the-art technology. It also means you're earning $10K more a year than if you had just a high school diploma. Get started at ivytech.edu. Halfway through Class 4A, that was 4A North. We'll go to 4A South after the break, and Bob Lovell will be back with you as well. Corey Brunson, the head coach at Evansville Rights, will be along with Coach Lovell after the break. 4A South follows next as you are listening to the IHSAA Champions Radio Network, presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. This is your IHSAA.
Who appreciates the value of an Ivy Tech Community College Associate degree? Well, the state's largest colleges for starters. Over 20 have partnered with us in our Guaranteed Admissions Program, where an Ivy Tech Associate degree guarantees admission to their bachelor's degree program. Who else? The 70,000 plus high school students each year who earn college credit in high school and save on tuition by doing it. But as valuable as an Ivy Tech degree is, the real value lies in the better life it makes possible. Let's get started today at ivytech.edu.
Hey, I'm ordering dinner. I was thinking burgers.
Boom! I just earned a $650 bonus for opening up a checking account at Old National Bank. Sorry, what'd you say? Burgers?
No, I definitely said 40-ounce dry-aged tomahawk steaks. Yep, with those little sauteed mushrooms.
Earn up to a $650 bonus when you open an eligible checking account and complete qualifying activities. Visit oldnational.com/checking and get old. Member FDIC. Additional restrictions apply. Offer valid through October 31st, 2025.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you could still have hepatitis C, a serious disease that's a leading cause of liver cancer. If you were born from 1945 to 65, you should get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments can cure this disease. Talk to your doctor about getting tested. A message from the CDC.
We're with Corey Brunson, the head coach at Evansville Rights, sectional number 24. And when you put together your summer schedule and then obviously your fall schedule, thinking back to those days, were the expectations for this team to win a sectional?
Definitely. Yeah, we have a lot of guys returning from last year, and that group got better as the year went on, won a sectional, and we were just kind of a first down away of winning a regional. So these guys know what it takes and how close we were last year, winning a regional. So a lot of guys back, so we had a lot of experience, so the expectations are high, and it's always high here at Wright. So we kind of expect big things all the time.
Coach Corey Brunson from Evansville Rights, sectional number 24. Coach, thanks for the time. Best of luck to you and your kids.
How far behind me on?
Welcome back to the 2025 IHSAA Football Tournament Pairing Show, presented by the Indianapolis Colts on the IHSAA Champions Radio Network. This is your IHSAA with Paul Condrey. I'm Brendan King, halfway through Class 4A. We're on to the 4A South. More matchups coming your way right now as we'll hit Sectional 21. 7 teams involved as we lead off with Beech Grove. They will take on Richmond. Number 6, Pendleton Heights at 7-1. They'll be at Mount Vernon. Newcastle will be at Greenfield, and then the winner of Game 1 between Beech Grove and Richmond will take on 6-2 Yorktown, Paul.
Pendleton Heights, I really like what Jed Richmond has done, 7-1, ranked 6th. Great quarterback in Brant Gray. He's had a solid year. He's not only running the football, passing the football with great efficiency. 8 touchdowns, both passing and running. Also look for Aiden Forshall, the linebacker. Once again, another great defensive unit with multiple guys. They got 4 guys with 30 tackles or more. I really like what Yorktown and Mike Wilhelm has done. He's a veteran guy. His quarterback, Sam Tokar, has had a sensational year, 72% passing, 12 touchdowns, 4 picnic. Was that Loser? I hope I got that name pronunciation right. 42 tackles. Cole Purdue, linebackers, been good. Beech Grove is an interesting group. I really think this is a group that really has been a really kind of a surprise group for Coach Mosley. Don't discount Greenfield Central. They're a pretty good football team in Sectional 21.
And we'll go to Sectional 22, 8 more teams from 4A South. Sectional 22 based around the Indianapolis area, including Indianapolis Shortridge. They will take on Danville Community. Remember, Jamie Comer was in the state championship a number of years ago. Indianapolis Roncalli ranked number 9 in 4A. Roncalli will be at Northview. Number 1, Indianapolis Bishop Chatard. What's new? They're 7-1 under Rob Doyle. They'll be at Mooresville, which will be a tough challenge on the road. And then Crispus Attucks, the third 7-win team, Paul, in Sectional 22. Attucks at Brebeuf Jesuit.
Big picture, Indianapolis Bishop Chatard, 17 state championships. How do you prepare your team to go against a resume like that? And I know what the coach speak is going to be, but make no mistake about it, Danny Adams, the running back, has been outstanding. I think that they're a tremendous football team. but their 4 linebackers are playing off the charts. I talked with Coach Robbie Doyle earlier this week. Hoekstra, Lunsford, Lepper, Camille, the linebacker's been good. Jack Harrington has been scheduled to be back here from a week 2 injury, so that should give them some hops in that one. Attucks is an interesting group. They had a pretty good season. Northview likewise has had a pretty good season. I think that's an attractive matchup with Northview and Roncalli in the big picture. I like what Sam Otley has done. But once again, Chittard, that is the elephant that in the room. That may be the elephant in the entire state when it comes to this entire class of 4A football, because they are very, very talented. The lone loss was to Cathedral, a premier football program.
There is nothing to be ashamed about when it comes to that. Halfway through 4A South, we'll go to Sectional 23. 8 more teams of the 62 involved from Class 4A. Bedford North Lawrence gets us started. BNL, they'll be at Jennings County. It's Connorsville at 3-5, at 4-4 Shelbyville. Martinsville is also 3-5. They'll be at Greenwood Community. Lastly, in Game 4, it's Silver Creek taking on 6-2 Charlestown, Paul. Charlestown and BNL both with 6 wins in this section.
Yeah, BNL, 1 at Martinsville, 1 at Jennings County, so that gives them the upper hand here. I really like Braden Tidd's group. Jason Kirby, their quarterback, 61%. Another high efficiency guy, 23 touchdowns, 8 picks. 4 wide receivers with 400 yards, 6 defensive players with 35 tackles or more. It's a very, very talented group. I like what they're going to do. They're going to be my pick in the top half of the bracket. The bottom half of the bracket, the only question I have is, has Charlestown schedule been tough enough to prepare them for the likes of the other 2 teams, the other 3 teams that they may potentially come up from the bottom of the bracket? But Martinsville's the defending champion. Brian did a great job last year. He's one of our top coaches. But if Christian Grayson, the quarterback at Charlestown, steps up, plays like he can, 17 touchdowns, 3 picks, they got a chance and they could win the sectional.
Finishing up Class 4A, and specifically the 4A South, with Sectional 24. Sectional 24 leads us off in Game 1 with Evansville Central. Central will be at Wrights, and you heard from Coach Brunson from Evansville Wrights a moment ago with Bob Lovell. Number 3, Heritage Hills, 7-1 their record at Washington. Jasper is 6-2. They'll be at 4-4 Boonville. Game number 4 involves Evansville Bossy and Evansville Harrison.
Evansville Wrights, pretty good year for Amir Wilford, their freshman running back, 1,000 yards, linebackers, A.J. Coates, Gabe Vogel have a good season. Jasper junior quarterback Jalen Manners has been off the charts, 21 touchdowns, 1,497 yards. But when you talk about this team, this sectional 24, it's all about Heritage Hills. Judd Goldsberry, cover of the Indiana Football Digest, he's going to Ole Miss. Tyler Ruxer, he's going to Old Oklahoma. So take a look at the 2 of the best football players the state has produced in the last decade. Hayden Smith, their linebacker, has been as good as anybody. But the Goldsberry-Ruxer tandem we're in rare air right now in Indiana football history to have 2 players that are of that high profile and then have that kind of efficiency. I think this is a Heritage Hills team. I'm just destined to see a matchup with Bishop Chittard somewhere along the line. Do you think I can dial that one in?
I think we can do that. I think we do that. That's Paul Condry. I'm Brendan King. Hard to believe this thing is flying by. We're getting towards the back half of our program today. That is Class 4A. 5A is going to follow next. We will introduce both 5A North and 5A South together. And also Bob Lovell will be back in a moment with Pat Shanley. He's from Lafayette Jeff, as well as Gabe Johnson from Bloomington South. Our whole look at 5A follows next as you're listening to the IHSAA Champions Radio Network, presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. This is your IHSAA.
Your Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent is there to help guide you through each step of the insurance process.
Yeah, my agent's awesome. Jeff gives great advice, helps me figure things out. He's kind of like a dad to me.
Oh, that's great. Your agent
He's just got such a dad vibe, you know?
Sure. And your agent
I kind of want to get him a tie. I wish there was like an insurance agent's day or something, you know, because he's not really my dad.
Get to know an Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent, and you'll never have to go it alone. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Let's insurance together.
At the IHSAA, we're proud to partner with the American Dairy Association Indiana to make milk the official beverage of high school student athletes.
As a student athlete, it's important to fuel yourself for performance both in the classroom and on the field.
Milk is naturally made up of water and electrolytes to rehydrate, high-quality protein to repair muscles, and carbohydrates to replenish energy stores.
Whether you win the Indy 500 or an Indiana High School State Championship, it just makes sense that winners drink milk.
It's hard to keep track of all the health information that comes your way, but you still want to make the right decisions. Here's an easy one. Get tested for hepatitis C. It's a leading cause of liver cancer and often has no symptoms. People born from 1945 to 1965 are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. The good news is that now it can be cured. Talk with your doctor about getting a blood test for hepatitis C. Know for sure. A message from the CDC.
Welcome back, everyone. We continue to talk to our great coaches, football coaches around the state in anticipation of the upcoming football state championship. We are pleased to be joined by Pat Shanley, the football coach at Lafayette Jefferson. Yours is a team that's explosive offensively. You don't win the games you win without having a certain level of balance, but you are pretty formidable on the offensive side.
Yeah, we've got 2 what I believe to be Division I receivers. We've got 3 what I believe to be Division I offensive linemen. And we've got a quarterback that is really, really accurate and a really competitive kid who prepares really, really hard. And then guys around them that understand their role and, they execute their role at a high level. So we've been playing pretty good football to date. Obviously, there's going to be adversity and challenges, and we've got to, continue to find ways to get better week to week.
Pat Shanley's the head coach at Lafayette Jefferson, Sectional 12. Coach, thanks for your time and good luck in the sectional.
Appreciate it, Bob. Thanks for all you do for Indiana high school football, man.
Right now, though, we're honored to be joined by Gabe Johnson, the football coach at Bloomington South. Coach, thanks for the time and congratulations on a great year to this point. So to an outsider, how would you describe this team?
Talented, hardworking, cohesive, a lot of those things, right? And so, physical comes to mind. I think that's one of the things maybe that stands out with our team is we've played some physical teams and have maybe been the more physical team, and I think that's a testament to our weight room and our practices and the way that we do those things. And so, anytime you walk off the field and you can say that you were the more physical team, typically you're going to be the team that won the game.
Coach Gabe Johnson from Bloomington South. Coach, thank you so much for your time and best of luck in the tournament.
Much appreciated, Bob. Thank you.
Great to have you back on the football tournament pairing show presented by the Indianapolis Colts. That's Paul Condrey. I'm Brendan King. 5A is coming up right now. And by the way, thanks again to Coach Shanley and Johnson for joining Coach Lovell. You can hear those full interviews on the IHSAA YouTube page. All right, Paul, we're going to knock out both 5A North and 5A South, starting in the North in Sectional 9. Munster will meet Hammond Central, and then it's Maryville taking on Hammond Morton. What's on your mind?
Maryville. That's Maryville. Maryville 6th straight sectional championship. Great quarterback in Michael Hill. Keep an eye on him. Only at 11th grader, 67% passing, 2,000-yard passer. J.Q. Johnson, Amir Eller, Cam Jordan, Coron Moore. Just those 4 names right there should breathe fear into whoever they're going to play. This is a very, very talented football team. In my opinion, this is a team that has had a tremendous amount of carryover from last year's team that went to the semi-state, lost a heartbreaker to very talented Warsaw team, but Maryville is loaded. Hard to compete with this group.
Sectional 10, 4 more teams represented of the 33 5A schools, and don't forget a guaranteed new champion with Decatur Central moving up to 6A. We'll hit first Michigan City in Sectional 10. They'll take on Valparaiso. Then it's LaPorte facing off with Chesterton.
I've seen all these teams in this league because that's the league I spend my time on. It's really pretty simple. Valparaiso, if Kellen Hosick gets time to throw the football, he can throw the football. Ben Fedorchuk, their linebacker, has been solid. James Parisa, wide receiver, has been good. Keep in mind, Michigan City went to Valpo and won in the regular season. It's a 1-score game. Valparaiso's played a brutal schedule. Chesterton, Andrew Gavea, one of the best hard-charging running backs I've seen this season, a workhorse. Look out for him. Logan Anderson and Logan Chesovich, 2 really good defensive players. Hunter Boyd has been really a serviceable quarterback as a sophomore. And then Michigan City is loaded with athletes. And Tristan Hart has been outstanding. 1,500 yards passing has been outstanding. Zaire McKinney, their wide receiver. Ethan Busker is one of the best football players I saw this entire season at linebacker. He will knock your socks off.
5A North, we go to Sectional 11. Warsaw, the defending 11-time champion, and a ranked matchup to get that started in Sectional 11. Game 1, Warsaw Community. They're ranked number 10 against number 7 Concord. Paul, that follows with Fort Wayne North and Goshen.
Best football game, and maybe the best football game that we've seen so far in the tournament series. Warsaw, Bart Curtis, a team that went to the state championship a year ago against 7th-ranked Concord, Craig Kaler's group. Keep in mind, Craig's kids won at Warsaw 38-7 in Week 5, an old-fashioned beatdown, and they've got players. Bo Brunner, their quarterback, has been outstanding, 1,100 yards. Therese Brevard is one of the best athletes in the Hoosier State. He can do it. He can do it on defense. He's got 58 tackles. Warsaw, Quentin Brock has been outstanding. Fort Wayne North is an interesting group here. Do they have what it takes? They got a really good quarterback in Jaden Rivers. But I tell you what, this is Concord's tournament to win, in my opinion. And if they had a traditional home, they don't have a home because they need a new field. It's being redone. So I don't know where that game is actually going to be played at, quite frankly.
Lastly, in 5A North, it's Sectional 12. Lafayette Jefferson, the defending 12-time champ. You just heard from Pat Shanley with Coach Bob Lovell. Number 4, Lafayette Jeff will be at McCutcheon. Then it's Kokomo at 2-6. They'll face South Bend Adams. Caleb Small, the first-year Kokomo head coach.
Yeah, I tell you what, the team that's really kind of a surprise is Frank Karchewski's South Bend Adams Eagles group. Carson Bryce, the running back, has been really, really good. That's been a great upkeep for that group. But Lafayette Jeff is hands down the best team in this tournament. Here in this sectional, Tristan Barrett, the quarterback, 75% passer. Brendan, 2,000 yards, 20 touchdowns. But think about these names. Bryce Van Ostrom, their wide receiver, 3rd in the state in receiving. Kavion Campbell Walker, Jr., 10 tackles a game. Omar Williams, and Northern Illinois commit. Aiden H., the Minnesota commit. Boy, where do I go? This defense is relentless with 21 takeaways on the season. Great football team, Lafayette Jeff.
That's 5A North. We go to 5A South, and we get started with an absolutely spectacular group of 4 from Sectional 13. Indianapolis Cathedral, they're number 3 in Class 5A. They'll be at Anderson, and then the undefeated New Palestine Dragons at number 1, their first year in Class 5A. At number 8, Plainfield. Paul, can New Pal run the table?
They can. New Pal, 22 straight wins, 6 consecutive wins in postseason play. Brock Brownfield, the Purdue recruit up front. Jacob Davis, a quarterback, is solid. Sam Hershey, defensive line. Garrett Raines, really solid. Plainfield's an interesting group here, but the question is, I don't think they have the horses, but I really like what the direction that Tyler Blust is doing. The Cathedral Cam Kors has been outstanding. Kors top 10 in passing in Cathedral history. What does that tell you? Their kicker, Crick Van Brisloff, tied for first in career field goals right. Xavier Dangerfield, 1,627 career rushings, 791 careers for the Irish. How do you ever go against the Irish? But, man, I tell you what, if New Pal and the Irish get a chance to play, pick one game out of any game you're going to go to, that may be the one.
5A South takes us to Sectional 14. East Central is the defending Sectional 14 champion, and East Central is going to get a chance to host Franklin Community. East Central, the number 5 team in Class 5A. Number 9, Whiteland will be at Seymour, and then Columbus East will await the Game 1 winner. It's the only 5A sectional, Paul, with 5 teams.
Yeah, Columbus East, Eddie Vogel's group. Brody Miller, the linebacker, has been good. Dallas Dykstra, the wide receiver, has been solid. And he's also played safety. He's got almost 100 tackles on the season. But East Central, I think, is the team to beat. I know that their talented running back, Ryan Midges, has been out since week number 2. But Colton Bellman has filled in very, very admirably. Trace McCracken, their linebacker, has been very, very good. But I really believe this is, even though Whiteland had a big win this past weekend, I really believe that this is East Central's tournament to win.
Sectional 15 takes us to the old rivalry games. Terre Haute North starts it against Bloomington North, and then Terre Haute North Vigo and Terre Haute South Vigo at number 2 Bloomington South. Always fun when we can take into account what rivalry is going to face each other.
We know either North is going to win or South is going to win, right?
Yeah.
At least at some point in time. But Bloomington South's been really good. Duncan Combs, their quarterback, 1,200 yards passing. Jalen Williams has been outstanding as a wide receiver. Running back Braylon Thompson's been good. But all 3 of their linebackers have 50 tackles each. TH South is an interesting group. Offensive line, Nick Williams, Sean Schwartz, Ryan Hesher, been really, really good. Their quarterback, Maddox Woodcock, has been solid. But I think this is a really interesting group for TH South. Greg Barrett's just done a really terrific job. But I think Bloomington South has to be the favorite.
Let's wrap up 5A South and 5A football with Sectional 16. Evansville North takes on New Albany, followed by number 10 Floyd Central at Castle. Paul, what do you think?
I tell you what, this is one for the ages. I think as you look at this one, Floyd Central 7-1. Their lone loss was to a really good Whiteland team. I think Zach Deaver's done a really formidable job at Evansville North. Hunter McKinney, the running back, has been good. But Floyd Central, Jack Moe, the quarterback, 1,500 yards. Sebastian Robertson, their senior running back. Jackson Stone, their wide receiver. Matt Polk, the linebacker. Castle, never count out a Doug Hercoach football team. Brody Farmer, free safety linebacker, has been really good. And Carter Bober, the wide receiver, has been an outstanding participant this season for the Castle Knights.
That's your look at 5A. 6A will follow, and we'll also put a bow on the show. You're listening to the IHSAA Champions Radio Network, presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. This is your IHSAA.
As more club and travel sports pop up every year, they often muddy the waters on what the purpose of sports should be for student athletes at this age.
But high school sports are different.
It's not about becoming the best athletes, it's about becoming the best people.
It's not about scholarships, it's about coaches mentoring you, camaraderie with your teammates, and the connection you build with your school community.
It's not about year-round training. It's about developing resilience, responsibility, and a strong work ethic for life.
It's not about what am I going to get out of this, it's about playing for something bigger than yourself, for your team, your school, and your entire community.
High school sports help us grow in ways that will serve us for the rest of our lives, not just in the game.
I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig. Support what makes education-based athletics different by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events. This is developing students as people. This is fulfilling a greater purpose. This is your IHSAA.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? Have you heard of hepatitis C? Hepatitis C is a leading cause of liver cancer, yet it often has no symptoms. And people born from 1945 to 1965 are 5 times more likely to have it. But here's some good news. Treatments are now available that can cure hepatitis C, which is why you should talk with your doctor about getting a blood test for hepatitis C. It could save your life. A message from the CDC.
Great to have you back for the 2025 IHSAA Football State Tournament Pairing Show presented by the Indianapolis Colts with Paul Condry. I'm Brendan King. Due to time constraints, unable to get to our interviews with Craig Buzea from Crown Point and Logan Haston from Columbus North. However, you can see those interviews with Bob Lovell, the full interviews on the IHSAA YouTube page. All right, Mr. Condry, little speed run here as we get through Class 6A. 6A North, Sectional 1, Lake Central takes on Crown Point. And it's Penn at Portage. Away you go.
All right, Crown Point, Penn. How about that for the final? Landon Hall, the quarterback, junior quarterback from Penn's dynamic. This is a Crown Point team that knows how to win, been really playing well as the offensive line. Defense has been opportunistic. Braden Shudd, Griffin Van Dicklet, Trevor Gibbs is going to Indiana. Vinnie Freeman is the best football player that I've seen in all the games that I've done, the outstanding linebacker for Penn. So that's what I feel we're going to see in the finals. Penn, Crown Point.
Let's go to Sectional. Yeah, let's go to Sectional 2. Carroll Fort Wayne will be at Elkhart. Fort Wayne Snyder faces off against Fort Wayne Northrop. Nice little rivalry in game 2.
You know, it's really interesting that we find Snyder coming into a tournament with 2-6. That's a big surprise right there. Elkhart, it's hard to figure them out, but Carroll and Northrop, keep in mind that these two teams, Carroll beat Northrop 48-37 this past Friday. I think we can see a matchup there, but I like what Carroll quarterback Gabe Frissinger's done. 1,800 yards, 14 touchdowns. I look at Northrop, David Callison, their quarterback, 59% passing, 1,700 yards. The Guilford kid, the wide receiver, is averaging 24 yards every time he touches the football. He is a talented player. I tell you what, this is an interesting one. I think it's going to be Northrop and Carroll, and I think Carroll's got the opportunity.
6A North, Sectional 3, Zionsville's at number 6 Westfield. Harrison West Lafayette will face number 2 Carmel.
I said when Kevin Wright came back to coach high school football in the Hoosier State, everybody better get ready. Carmel's ready to go. I think this is the Carmel team. Anthony Colner, the junior quarterback, is out good. Pemberton, the running back, Belay, the wide receiver. Even though Westfield is dynamic and Deacon King and Grabowski, their quarterback, I really believe this is Carmel. And Westfield, they played each other earlier in the season in week 2. Carmel won.
In Sectional 4, rivalries all around. Game 1, Hamilton Southeastern takes on Homestead. Fishers will take on Noblesville. If we get HSE Fishers again, that could be fun.
Yeah. Mudsock Volume 2?
Yeah.
Is that what that would be? Fisher's Kurt Funk's done a nice job. I really like Gabe Sturgill. You saw him play, I know, earlier in the season. Chad, the group at Homestead, playing a little bit down right now, but Fisher's is the team, I think, that has got the upper hand in this one.
Sectional 5, we go to 6A South. It'll be Ben Davis at Avon, and then Brownsburg against Pike. Number 1, Brownsburg.
Well, Brownsburg, what can you say that they haven't already done? They're an unbelievable football team. Ben Davis, always a very, very talented. Avon, maybe the story in the state in 6A, what they've been able to do. But Oscar Fry is a great quarterback. I think that he makes the difference in this one. I think John Hart runs the table, and they go back to back.
Sectional 6, Game 1, North Central at Indianapolis against Decatur Central, moves up to 6A. Then it's Lawrence Central, Lawrence North. What do you say?
But yeah, Lawrence North won the previous game 34-27 in week number 1. Lawrence North, I think, is the team that has all the momentum. But Decatur Central, we'll find out if there's a huge difference between 5A to 6A football. Decatur Central has all the horses to be able to win this sectional. Will they be able to get over the hump? That's the big question.
Sectional 7, Game 1 as Southport at Indianapolis Arsenal Tech. Warren Central takes on Perry Meridian.
Warren Central. Plain and simple. That's all I can say. They're the best football team in Sectional 7, hands down.
Sectional 8, we go to Jeffersonville at Center Grove. Columbus North at Franklin Central. Paul, wrap us up.
Center Grove, 15 straight sectionals. I never thought I would ever even consider the fact that Hobart's streak of 19 is on the horizon for Center Grove. They're unbelievable. Center Grove, Oscar Sloan, quarterback, Drew Paxson, Kobe Cherry. What can I say? That's the best football team down there.
Thanks so much for being with us on the Tournament Pairing Show presented by the Indianapolis Colts on the IHSAA Champions Radio Network. Also presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. This is your IHSAA.
With over 2.5 million participants, flag football is one of the fastest growing sports in the country. Colts Flag Football Leagues, presented by Peyton Manning Children's Hospital, are offered across Indiana and Kentucky, providing an opportunity for kids to learn the fundamentals of football through a competitive yet inclusive environment. These leagues are available in the fall and spring for kids of all ages. Find a league near you at colts.com/flag.
Did you ever ride your bike with a clothespin and a baseball card? Or use a typewriter for a school paper? Then here's a timely alert. Americans born from 1945 to 1965 are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C, which often has no symptoms, but is a leading cause of liver cancer. The good news? Treatments are available that can cure hepatitis C. Talk with your doctor about getting a blood test for hepatitis C. Know for sure. A message from the CDC.
Hey, honey, take your blood pressure medication.
Thanks, dear.
Daddy, are you going to the hospital again?
No, son. Bad medication from a dishonest website got me sick. Now we only use sites approved by NABP or that end in .pharmacy, so we know they're safe.
Learn more about the new .pharmacy domain and ordering medications safely online at safe.pharmacy, a public service from the National Association of Boards of Pharmacy.
You've been listening to the 2025 Indiana High School Athletic Association Football Tournament Pairing Show, presented by the Indianapolis Colts on the IHSAA Champions Radio Network. This is your IHSAA. Today's broadcast is brought to you by
Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance,
presenting sponsor of the IHSAA Champions Network, Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood.
Ivy Tech Community College,
presenting partner of the IHSAA. Learn more about higher education without the high price at ivytech.edu.
Wilson Sporting Goods,
official ball of the IHSAA.
Old National Bank,
the official banking partner of the IHSAA.
Forte Sports Medicine and Orthopedics,
the official sports medicine provider of the IHSAA.
American Dairy Association of Indiana.
Refuel, rehydrate, repair with milk, the official beverage of the IHSAA.
Dellon Automotive,
experience the Dellon difference.
And by the Indianapolis Colts,
proud presenting sponsor of the